Hey everybody, excited to join you as we dive into session 3 of Explore the Bible. And we are looking still in the book of Joshua. We've looked at Joshua's installment as Israel's leader so far. We have looked at the beginning of the story of Jericho and Rahab and how God uses imperfect people to be strong and courageous in faith because he is a God who keeps his promises. Today, in chapter 3, we're going to look at the crossing of the Jordan. That's what we're going to be looking at this week, and it's a really cool story that has a lot of look backs to Moses and Exodus. And so we're going to continue to see this theme of God establishing Joshua as the leader of the nation of Israel. And then we see a big theme here with the Ark of the Covenant. And one thing that's important to see throughout this story and throughout the Old Testament and throughout the book of Joshua is the Ark of the Covenant is God's presence with the people. It symbolically represents God's presence, but it also brings God's presence to them. And so when these priests step into the Jordan River with the Ark of the Covenant, that is God going before the people into this river, which would ultimately be what stops the river from flowing so the Israelites can pass on dry ground. Later, throughout the conquests and throughout the Old Testament, we're going to see the Ark of the Covenant leading God's people into battle as God leads them into battle and into conquest of the Promised Land. And what's really cool, some kind of today it's just going to be kind of some fun facts a lot about what's happening in this Jordan River. If you're like me, you grew up watching probably some cartoons about this story or flannel graphs or whatever it is, and it was always kind of just portrayed as this little river that they cross. But at this point in the year, it's harvest season, and at this point in the year, normally the Jordan River is above flood stage, and it is a massive, fast-flowing river full of rapids going through this portion that they're about to cross, and it's massive. And so this isn't just an inconvenience for them. This is impossible for them to cross, and they will all perish if they try to cross this river. And once again, we see God. He has these promises that he has made to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Joshua, the people of Israel. And one of those promises is the promised land. And right now, this deadly, raging river is separating them from the promised land. But it cannot separate them from God keeping his promises. And so God, as the Ark of the Covenant, the presence of God with the people, stops the water. God establishes Joshua as Israel's new leader in this moment, just like he established Moses as Israel's leader at the Red Sea. That was a big pivotal moment for Moses as the leader of the nation of Israel. And here we see this as a big moment for Joshua as well. But probably bigger than that is this is a big moment for Joshua because we've seen already God promised Joshua that he will be with him and he will be with his people. And here we see God showing Joshua and the people of Israel that God will be with them and he will protect them and he will keep his promises. And so this reminds us a lot of the Red Sea. In both instances, God receives a lot of glory, and God affirms the man that he has chosen to lead the nation of Israel. And another really cool fact, so it's during the harvest season, it's a massive flood stage right now. This is an impassable river. Um, is we see this that the waters extended, they're pushed back, goes all the way back. It's backing up in the town of Adam, which is 15 miles from where they're crossing right now. So this is a massive water event that's happening right now. And it's just something that I didn't think about when I heard this story growing up or throughout my life. Um, because without understanding those context details, you don't understand the magnitude of this miracle. God is clearly showing his people, just like at the Red Sea, that you cannot do this without me, but I am going to do it for you because I keep my promises. And so that's just a little bit into this session. I know that this is kind of the beginning of it. There's a lot to come. Um, but one thing, and this is one of the main points in the lesson, one thing is that we need to really emphasize this week to our people is that we can be sure that God never fails to provide perfectly for his people during their time of need. And I would also add that God never fails to provide perfectly for his people so that he can keep his promises. And this is a great story for us to look into that, to celebrate that, and to remind the people in our groups of just how much God does through grace to imperfect people in order to keep his promises, which is a very, very um, easy way for us to get to Christ in the gospel. We are imperfect. That river of sin and debt that we had was impassable and we could not get by it. But Christ went in the middle, stopped those floodwaters, took on God's wrath for us so that we could cross the Jordan spiritually into the presence of God. And so just a lot of really cool connections here. I hope you guys have a great Sunday studying with your people, and as we all just see that God really does keep his promises. Love you guys.